myth of the tolerant left. That's the message that they, or the propaganda that they try to put forth, right? All right. So whether it's, LGBT, the minorities, affirmative action, whatever, the war on poverty, their excuse is always that they're so tolerant. And they promote acceptance, right? You don't dare go against anyone else. It doesn't matter how sexually deviant they might be. It doesn't matter. Basically what's left other than promoting pedophilia? Basically the people on the left are promoting almost every conceivable possible sexual preference on the planet. And if it's practiced in a person's personal life and they're not inflicting harm or using force or coercion against someone else, I'm actually with them. But it's only but you see how it works? See how that double standard works with the left? Is they'll promote that, but in a situation about this Calgary, this transit driver who's refusing, and of course, because he's a Calgary, works for the government, he's with a union, a public sector union, of course, and he's refusing to drive the Pride bus, citing a radical sexual movement, and it's for religious reasons, obviously, because he's a self-described Christian. Now in Canada, that's being a Christian or believing in a mystical deity or religion is supposed to be protected. So this gentleman has every bit of right, and that's something that's been recognized and acknowledged long before any of these other movements come to exist. But yeah, as you'll see, propagated through all the leftist media and those commenting on those outlets that are in favor of leftist ideology, collectivist ideology, mob mentality, you'll see they got the pitchforks out at this guy. So where's the tolerance? Even if you're even slightly honest with yourself, most people today at least have to recognize, unless you're using massive amounts of cognitive dissonance or just closing your eyes and pretending it doesn't exist, most of you must at least recognize that the myth of the tolerant left, it's being shown to be what it is, a complete fiction, a complete myth. They're only tolerant to those who fall under their ideological preference or opinions. If you're against what they propagate or the message that they want to put forth or their narratives, you'll see how tolerant they are. The most intolerant bunch you will ever meet. Many times, in many aspects, way worse than people that consider themselves politically on the right, or the religious zealots or the dogmatists on the right, which I'll admit fully, that they're very intolerant to people that don't believe or subscribe to their ideology. But the left is showing that they're massively hypocritical when they point out that reality to the people on the right, when they're every bit, if not worse, than the people that they're pointing out. Political correctness does not come from the right. The people, because of the separation or the perceived notion of separation of church and state, the people on the right have no way to use their political parties to propagate their message anymore. The people on the right, the religious ideologues and those who promote religion, they're basically relegated to the dustbins of history for the most part in modern Western cultures. It's the religion of statism and collectivism, the religious left. Those are the people that that have full access and power to the power of the government, the gun in the room, to force their ideas, their preferences, and ideology on others. And if you don't accept them, they'll come at you with the pitchforks. They won't be thumping a Bible. They'll be thumping their own religious doctrine, which is the religion of the state. the religion of collectivism. And they will beat you down violently, viciously, lock you in cages, force you out of jobs, they'll do anything humanly possible, like they'll do to this gentleman for speaking up for himself. You watch the kind of, pain and suffering he'll have to endure as a result of daring to stand up against the tolerant left, right? It's terrible. I feel bad for this gentleman, but at the same time, I'm glad this stuff is happening now so that I can report on it and I can show you and I can point out the clarity of the message I'm telling you when I explain that it's a myth. The left are not tolerant in any way, shape, or form. They're only tolerant to those who will propagate their message or conform to their opinions or ideology. If you're outside of that circle, they're just as vicious, just as relentless in their attacks and their oppression towards anyone that disagrees with them. Recognize it, observe it, keep that in the back of your head, and remember, there's no left or right in liberty, only in politics. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.